actually recording, right?
Okay, yes, and we're live
Okay.
with Andrew.
All
So,
right.
um, let's see. Maybe you could read the instructions out loud, and we'll just hit it step by step.
All right. So this is homework 3. We're doing modifying Rotten Potatoes, which is the Rails intro, and we're going to be adding features. We're going to be adding features to a simple Rails app and deploy the result publicly on Heroku Cloud Hosting Service. We're going to run live integration tests against the deployed system.
Okay, super. All right.
All right. So I had done some of this, but it was a long time ago, like back when this was actually new. So I don't know if I should just delete this and start over.
Well, it sort of depends. I mean, first of all, do you know what your Heroku link is? Do you have that?
The Heroku link for the app specifically?
Yeah, did you set that up before you started anything else?
Yeah, I think I could still get it just by going into the Heroku profile.
Probably, but you might want to
it's
just look and see what you've got.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and we can do a quick review until things start being unfamiliar.
The only thing I'm worried about is that they only give you 5 apps, and so
Yes,
I've
I
deleted
always
some.
just yeah, I just like
I don't know if
rotate
I
them.
deleted that one.
Yeah, if you did, all I'm saying is if you find that you don't have it, then let's just spin another one up.
Is there a button to just like view the app?
Well, you can bring it up. Let me think. Where is it? Like if you click on one of these, if you click on click on
Oh,
one
open app. There we go.
and then open app.
I knew it had to be there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to find that the delete app button is in the settings. That just like doesn't occur to me to be a setting.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
That
there it
was
is.
such a pain. Yeah. Okay.
How much of this did I have done?
Now, do you know which homework this is?
Why didn't I submit this? This is all working.
Yeah.
I remember putting some time into it.
Yeah. Now, are you sure that this is the right homework? That this isn't one of the later homeworks?
Not 100% positive on that, no. Oh, because
okay.
the later ones have the functionality implemented for you, don't they?
Yeah. Can we look at add new movie? Okay, so it certainly isn't 5. Did you do the cucumber one?
No, that one I didn't do.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do a review. All right. We'll just make sure that everything is as it should be. You've got the Heroku. All right. So if we have to change anything, we can do that. And let's go into Cloud9 and look at your code.
But are we sure that this is? I don't even know which assignment this is.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can, if you want, you can bring up some of your other Heroku ones and see if one makes more sense, right?
I guess.
Yeah, go back and I think you can just hit back from where you are, and then you'll see the other ones. Are they dated at all?
You would think
Like
they'd
when you
have to be.
created it? Because if they're dated, you could tell which is which. I love these names.
I do
Aqueous
too.
Cove.
No, you'd think that they would list the date on here and they like date modified, but they don't.
Well, maybe that's like the detail when you get in there.
Oh, here it is. 3
Okay, so
months
latest
ago.
activity deployed 3 months ago. Go down a little further. I'm not sure what. No, I was just scroll down just a little bit more. So version 1 3 months ago, initial release. Let's look at this one. This is not the same one, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the
This is probably Sinatra. Is
yeah.
it?
This has got to be Sinatra. We didn't do this in anything else.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Sinatra homework I have submitted. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now do a back button, and I wonder if it would be the next one on the list. Nameless Brook.
I'm gonna actually write down with a pen that one's the Sinatra one because I'm gonna forget all this stuff
Sure.
immediately.
Sure. Yeah. I never
Once I
remember
find a
either.
pen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I have.
I'm
Oh,
like
I
the
always have
last-
a million when I don't want them, and I don't have any when I want them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
truly amazing. It's like socks, you know. You're in a rush. You're grabbing stuff out of the dryer, and you pull out, you know, a dozen singles before you find
Yeah,
a pair.
none of them are the comfortable pair that you really want.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Nameless Brook.
You've heard the joke about that?
About the socks?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know, when they're in the wash and the dryer, you know, some of the one of a pair will get a wandering eye and go run off with a different pair, or a different one of another pair, and then they turn into hangers.
They turn into hangers.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if that's as common, but you know, years ago, it's like hangers would multiply and
hangers
socks
everywhere.
would, yeah, and socks
No, the
would
restaurant that I
disappear.
work in, we get like chef's jackets in, and they come in on hangers, and we
Right.
don't return the hangers.
Right.
So
Yeah,
the
that's
place
what I'm
is just
talking
being
about.
taken over with by hangers.
With
I completely
hangers.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the joke. That's the joke. Okay.
No, I
It
haven't
looks
heard
like
that
you
one.
might have tried that twice. Go to the next one in the list. We're still
We're still exploring.
yeah.
Nameless
Nameless
Everglades.
Everglades.
That one doesn't even make sense. It's got nameless in the name.
Yeah, I know. Somehow that's kind of cute. Like GNU
Oh,
is
this
not
Hangman.
Unix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's go to the next one.
Wait, I'm just scribbling this down.
Oh yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Of course.
I'm like the only person left that writes things down, I think.
I do too, because if I don't write things down, I forget. And
Exactly.
I think most people today seem to think that they don't need to write things down until they find out that they do.
Yep.
I mean, it always amazes me when I go over tricky stuff, like in my Python class, and no one's writing anything down. It's like,
Yep.
do you all have eidetic memories? I mean, because my experience is that you don't. Yeah, it's funny. This is typo.
Typo.
This is typo.
Right, the legacy.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
homework that I've already submitted.
Oh, good. So,
All right, one left. I think that
What do
was the
we-
one I clicked on originally.
can you go back one more time?
Yeah. Back
Sorry.
to here.
Yeah, I don't think we looked at Radiant Headland.
Radiant Headland is the legacy typo one.
No, that was Nameless Everglades. I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe
Radiant
you're right.
Headland.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I got it written down.
Blah. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah. So either you wrote over the one, or this is it. So
the fact
we
that
might
it
as
works
well.
so smoothly makes me think that it's one of the later ones that has this implementation added to it.
Yeah. Well, no big deal. We can. Do you want to blow away that first one so you have room for one? You could blow away the first to the second. It's just the intro to Sinatra. It's not even the Sinatra.
Yeah,
Right.
the Aqueous Cove and the Nameless Brook.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll do
because
that
it's
real
the
quick.
third one. It's the third one that's the full-blown Sinatra code.
The first time I had to do this, it took me like 10 minutes to figure out where the delete button was.
Oh, yeah. I think it took me longer. I was looking all over the place. I was like, yeah, never mind. I'm not even going to say it. Oh, it was so bad.
Oh, there it is. All right, cool. So I guess I'll just download
Yeah,
like a fresh copy of the repository and just run through this whole thing.
might as well. I don't think it'll take all that long.
All right, let's see if I can get these up together. It's the only problem with working on the laptop.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can always flip back and forth too if it's a pain.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just easier to do that.
it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still read that?
Although, yeah, it's probably going to be fine because we're not flipping between things like Cucumber and the code we're testing, or RSpec and the code we're testing, because then you really want to have a lot of stuff side by side. Yeah, so this shouldn't be too bad.
All right, so I'm just going to start at the beginning.
Yeah. If nothing else, this would be a great review. I know when
That's
I did
true.
this for the first time, I didn't understand half of what I was doing, but then when I did it the second time, everything really came together.
Yeah, that's happened to me before with other things. I can definitely see it happening here.
Yeah. Okay, so they have the instructions about running bundler, so bundle install without production.
Right.
Get in the yeah. Check do an ls before you do that. Do an ls. Okay, you're in it. Okay, because sometimes they have rotten potatoes nested inside, and then you have to go another level.
Oh yeah, you got to jump down. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you put the 27th there.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then we'll just do a reg db migrate status to be sure. And we should be fine. Yeah, it's up. Just
Everything looks good. So then we'll
great.
go ahead and do rake db seed.
Mm-hmm.
Except we put too many e's in there, it's not going to like that.
Yeah, that won't work as well.
All right.
It's saying it doesn't know how. Oh, yeah. Sorry that I thought you backspaced and did it again, but no, you got to do it different. Never mind. I can't
Yep.
even talk straight. All right, so we have it seated, and let's see,
I
deploy.
mean, I can.
Yeah.
Just
You
gonna
don't
say
have
I
to
could
do
run it
half
to
of
make
this.
sure it's running, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. It's not a bad idea. What is it? Rails S minus
Dash
P
P for port.
dash B and then capital, yeah, $ port minus B, yeah,
Yeah, I
$
finally
IP.
just wrote that and a bunch of other commands on the back of my notebook.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll remember it for a month and then I'll forget it.
Yep. Come back from spring break and all those commands are just gone.
Yeah, they're gone, wiped from whatever. Okay, great. This is great.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, and now you deleted that other one, so you could just do a create, right? Heroku create. Well, you got to log in first, of course, but
We don't have to do this key gen thing, I'm pretty sure, right?
you've already, you definitely don't want to do it again, or my God, it'll be such a mess.
Cryptic Fjord. All right. Go ahead and note this down on my list of Heroku repos.
Yeah.
They are pretty cryptic.
Yeah, I was thinking this is great. I really do love those names.
Yeah, they never fail to be amusing. It's like a Mad Lib almost.
Yeah, yeah. And somehow they evoke something exotic and far away.
Yeah, they do. Aqueous Cove.
Aqueous Cove, yeah. All right.
All right, so we'll push to Heroku.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Did you do do a git and git status? Ooh, I'm not sure we should have done that. It seems to be okay. They probably have, we haven't changed anything, and they probably have git up to date, but when we get out of this, we should check, because we really should do,
Oh, just to make sure that the... Okay, I
that
see what you're
we're
saying.
not missing anything, or, I mean, I don't see how we could, but it's
You never
just,
know.
yeah.
Especially with Git. I feel like I understand 90% of Git, and that last
Yeah.
10% is what like really
Yeah.
throws a wrench in things.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a few things you do all the time, and then there's a very small amount of things you do very seldom, but when you have to do them, you better know them. So, yeah, I mean, I still struggle with it, and I just keep my Git book handy because I know I'm not going to remember it. And I have, pages dog-eared and things underlined, that sort of thing. Yeah, okay, Git's like, okay, great. So we're good to go. And so now we're ready for the next part.
But we got to do the Heroku DB setup.
Yeah. Nice. Now the seed.
Yeah, nothing to it.
Great. Now we should be able to open it and just make sure that our application is there.
Cryptic Fjord.
There it is.
And just to be double sure, yep, up and running on Heroku.
Lovely. Problem free. I bet it wasn't the first time you did it.
No, it was weird how long it took us to get this working in the beginning of the semester.
Yes.
At least
Yes. And
we did
it's
here.
just, And it's amazing because then once you get these few things down and the proper order and you don't forget a step and all that stuff, suddenly it takes 5 minutes,
Right. And you're
But
like looking back, like what was I
yeah,
doing that took me 20 minutes
what,
to even
what
get started with this?
yeah, what took 5 hours the first time? But that's great because you can look back and say, wow, I really, really have mastered a number of things that
Yes,
you
it's
know.
progress. We're learning things.
Yeah,
It's all
and
good.
I mean, I think sometimes with a course like this, especially where there's just so much stuff, you have to periodically do that and say, I know so much more than I did even last week.
That's true. You get so swamped with the stuff you're still trying to learn that you don't realize how
Yeah,
much you actually already did learn.
yeah, yeah. And in
I
this
don't think
course,
about it that
that's
way.
easy. That is so easy to happen in this course. But yeah, you guys, every one of you has learned so much. It's amazing. Okay, so we're ready to sort, and you want to just mention what the instructions are?
All right, so we're doing part one, which is to sort the list of movies.
Hmm.
And we have the column headings that we were just looking at. We want to enable the movie title and release date column
Hmm.
headings to be clickable links. When we click them,
Hmm.
it'll sort them in ascending order.
Yeah.
And luckily, they've given us part of the CSS code.
Yeah.
So
uh, yeah, that's a big help. Yeah,
it
so
is.
actually that's easy to do. You might as well just go ahead and now I'm curious because and you can note this if you like. In chapter yeah, if you can open up the working tree there in workspace, and yeah, let's look at the where is it? Rails intro. Yeah. And the app directory and the assets, and there it is. Now it's interesting that chapter 5 says put all the stuff in application.css, and these instructions and the download, etc., have it in default CSS. And I would love to know, I came across that the last couple of days, and I'd love to know why there's a contradiction. So I made a
What's
note. I made a note of that, and that's something I want to discuss on, like tomorrow when we have our meeting. Yeah, I mean, so in chapter 5 it says all this stuff should be here, all right, and yet they put it here.
that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very weird.
I wonder if
I,
they're like linked together, so it doesn't really matter which
it
one it's.
probably, but then why not explain what's going on? Yeah. Okay, so you've got the highlight. Yeah, that's good.
All
You can
right,
just
so the
save
result
it.
should look something like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
Control S, that's important.
Yeah, yeah, that always bites me in the butt. Okay, so then we're gonna. It probably makes sense to look at the view first. Does it say? Does it when it gives the hints? Does it say? The suggested way of approaching it. So, listing. Well, it does talk about the view right off, so it makes sense to start there. So what app views?
Yeah.
Yeah, and movies and then index. Yeah, there it is. All right. Okay. So they're saying that we have to the link that is the A tag for sorting by title should have the HTML element ID title header. Okay. So that's saying that's got to be part of the link, which we don't have yet. So we've
We
got to
just
make
have
this. Yeah, we just have the HTML movie title string,
Right,
we've
this
got
line
to
right here.
Yeah, and we've got to turn that into a link. And do you remember how you do that? So we'll take it piece by piece.
Is it? Do you want to use the link to helper?
Yeah, yeah, and you still keep the header thing there. No, you don't have to make a new line there.
I was
That
just going to delete this, but I wanted to keep it for reference.
no
for me.
no. Oh yeah, you don't. Oh, I see. Well, yeah. So copy it on top. %th. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah, actually, that's the way I do it.
I don't like to delete anything until I'm like really
No.
confident.
Right, right. And so we put the link to stuff first. So now we're saying this isn't just a string, it's a link. And in order to make it a link, we've got to make it Ruby code. So, and we're going to interpolate the results, right? So what
Right.
do we have to put in here to indicate what follows as Ruby?
You got to do the equals link to. Well, it's equals to tell it that it's Ruby,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yes, right
Is
after
that-
the equals.
That's after the %th though, right?
Yeah, right after the H. Yeah, I don't think you put a space there. It's fussy, but you put a space after it. Yeah. And then there's the link to, and now because it's part of it's an argument, you have to put it in quotes. Yeah, link to. And we got to say where we're going. Oh, do a rake routes so we can use the helpers. Yeah, you might want to blow that up so we can really see it. Are you in the right directory?
Oh no,
No,
because
you
this
got-
is a new terminal.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. No, but don't, yeah, I would use the new terminal. I always keep it handy.
I was just
Yeah,
thinking there's no need to have that running right now anyway.
well, yeah, but the thing is, you can have one terminal with it running and check it periodically, and then another terminal that has rake routes, and that's usually a pretty good way of doing it to save time and be efficient.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm with you.
Yeah. Few tricks of the trade. Yeah, and in fact, I usually have 3 terminals open. One in case I have to issue a command, like, check the migration status or something. One that has rake routes there, just ready for me to look at. And then the other one with the application running. Okay, so we are, the thing we're linking to is itself, right? To the same page,
Right.
just gonna have the sorted.
So you're gonna have to use the params hash somewhere, right?
So, well, okay, but before we get to that, what is the path that we're going to then? What is the path, for instance, we're on, first of all?
The
What
path
page
that
you're
we're on is the movies index.
Yeah, okay. And then if
So
you
just
look at rake
index.
routes, no. Look at the line index, all right? And you see the controller action is index. You see the URI pattern, right? /movies. All right. Now you
Wait a
could
minute.
use these 2 pieces of information as raw URI material to say where
Is
it's
this the line
going.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, just so I'm on the same
But
page.
yeah. But remember, Rails creates a helper method for us that will always take us to that. And basically, if we look at the prefix, which here is movies, right? And we put
Yep.
underscore path, then that's going to give us all the stuff on this line automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, and now all we
Yeah, I
have to
wasn't
do.
Totally
I'm sorry?
clear on how those. I wasn't totally clear on how those helper functions got set up.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Rails using
Yeah.
metaprogramming creates them on the fly.
Yeah.
So we've
and it's
got
like
movies
event
path.
server configuration. I
Yeah,
like this.
exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So now the only thing we have to do is figure out what information we need to send it. So what do we have to put in the params hash to get across what we want to have happen, right? Yeah, so you have your parens there for the argument. I wouldn't put a space between the path and the paren. Yeah. And so basically what we're trying to do is say we want the title to be sorted, right?
Right.
And we can create a key called sort, and then just give it the value using Rocket, give it the value of our field, which is title. Only little t, because it's actually the field that it's going to find in active record, the field in our schema. So
So do
yeah.
I want to do it as a symbol then?
No, actually, you would do it as a. I'm not quite sure why that is, and I'm sure it's got something to do with the way it's parsed in SQL.
Oh yeah, I don't
But
know any SQL. SQL's all black magic to me.
SQL is, yeah. I mean, I
It's on
know a
my
little
list of
bit.
things to learn, but I have
Yeah,
never learned any of it. Like not a single line, which is
I've
probably deficient. But
well, I've learned some of it. It's kind of, I don't know, tedious, and it's not my favorite stuff. Okay. And that one of the things I love about Rails is that you can use the Rails stuff and it formulates the SQL for you. So, that's fine with me.
yep,
Now,
it seems like
I
it's
think
faster.
yeah. Now, the instructions said that we have to associate this ID with the link. So where's the link?
Oh, for
That is a tag, yeah. Should have the HTML element ID title header. And by the way, when we use link to, that again is a helper, and it generates the HTML A tag for us using this information. So I don't know if you remember, but earlier on in the semester, a lot of students were confused because they were thinking that we don't use the A tag in HAML, but it's got nothing to do with HAML. It's because of the link to helper method. So
I see
we've
what you're
got
saying. All right.
yeah. So we've got to make this link to have an ID, and we're going to have to add that after the movies path part of this. Like if you look up the active record, you'll see that it takes several different arguments, and one is the string. Then the next is the path, and any arguments you have to send it, and then there's options after that that are separate. So yeah, do a comma. Yeah. And now you can set up the ID that it wants you to give this field.
Is it really just ID?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
All right.
ID rocket. No, rocket. In fact, it's,
Rocket
I
title
shouldn't say,
header.
yeah, I shouldn't say, it's a, ID is a symbol. Yeah. Make ID a symbol.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then is this a string?
Yeah.
All lowercase, second would matter.
Well, you got to do whatever they have.
Oh,
It's
it's
got
an
to be
underscore.
exactly, yeah, exactly what they say. Yeah, okay. So what this is saying is that in the CSS, things can be styled according to this ID, title header. Although I mean, you could use it that way. I think the AutoGrader uses it to find the field. I don't think we even use this, but the AutoGrader does. Okay, so we did that for movie, and we've got to do the same thing for release date. Basically, same thing. Turn it into a link.
Oh, I gotta get rid of this too.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
I'll just get rid of this one. I'll just modify it.
Yeah, that'll
Why
work.
not? Link
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going back to the same place. So
Mm-hmm.
now the sort needs to be by just date.
Mm,
Doesn't matter, right? So I can just
No, no. Well, I'm trying to think. I
Aren't I
think it
writing the
has to
controller
do
code that
with.
searches for those?
Yeah, you are, but you might want to be consistent with the. I think release underscore date is the schema name.
Oh, consistency is good.
Yeah, yeah, and there's all this convention over configuration, and I just try to keep as everything consistent if possible. So we're going to sort on release date. Yeah, I think it actually does have to be, because you're saying what's the sort field, and that's a schema field. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then we've got to do an ID thing again. And this is, they said, yeah, it's got to be called release date header. Why don't they make it longer?
Right?
Yeah. I love when they make me type in useless stuff. Okay. So we've got most of this done now. Okay. But of course, we got the tricky part left. But so let's finish reading the instructions. Let's see the link. So what have we done? We've got that link, title header, release. We've got that done. And then the helper movie path, we did that. And we passed the stuff from, we stuffed the params hash. Now, it's saying here databases are pretty good at returning collections of rows in sorted order. Do you see where I'm at?
No.
Hints and caveats.
Oh, here we go. Hints and caveats. Second bullet. Gotcha.
Right, right. So basically, they're just making sure that we're not going to try to put code in our view, which we shouldn't. And then so we're going to put stuff in the controller that'll tell the view what it should display.
Because the controller
And-
returns the list of movies.
Yeah.
So
Now
all we
the
have to do
tricky
is
part
sort it
here.
first.
Yeah, the tricky part here is that we've got to make that highlight thing happen. All right, because I think as we have it now, if we adjust our controller, it should work. I mean, we're going to have to add code in the controller, right? But
Yeah.
it's not going to highlight yet. Okay. Can you can we look at that CSS file again just for a second?
Yeah, the default.
Right. So this is saying that the header, the table header, has to have the class highlight. Do you see? I mean, are you reading that with
Line
me? In
62 right here. Yeah.
it's saying table, and then in it you're going to have instances of movies. So we have the pound sign, and then or ID I'm sorry, ID movies. I'm in outer space. ID movies, and then table header can have the class highlight. Okay, so we can go back to our view. Yeah. Okay, and this is the tricky part. Where it says TH there, %TH, before the Ruby code, before the link to, we want to give this header a class. Normally we would just put a class name here, but we've got to figure this out programmatically. So start up curly braces thing. Yeah, and now we're going to put symbolized class.
What? Just like type symbolized class?
Like colon class.
Oh,
class
okay.
symbolized. Yeah, just like we did with ID. So
gotcha.
title header is an ID, but according to the CSS, we have to set up a class. So this is recognized as a field we want to highlight, right? Now, what we like is that when the title is selected, we want this to say highlight, it to be class highlight. Whereas when the release date is selected, we want the release date class to be highlight, right? So what we're going to do is do it programmatically by setting up an instance variable. So you're going to have like a rocket, so you can make that key value correspondence. Yeah. And now we have to give the name of an instance variable that's going to contain the information we need. For instance, maybe highlight. And we want it, yeah, we don't want it to be highlight because then that says it's always going to be highlighted, right?
Right.
Okay, so what we're going to do is instead of putting highlight here, we're going to put a variable here. And you might want to call it something like @title because it's associated with the title. You see what I'm saying? And now make the
Yeah.
end curly braces. So you're setting this up so it has a class. And basically the
class is dynamic.
the
I
information
would not have thought
of
to do this that way.
the information, because otherwise you have to do this programmatic stuff in the view. And remember, they're telling you don't do that. All right. So you have to do the same thing with the release date. You have to set up the class dynamically so that the value of the class is passed.
And just call this one.
Well, I mean, release date will work. Yeah, just so you know, it's very clear what it's doing. Don't put a space after those curly braces before the equals. Yeah, that's a kind of a funny thing. I've noticed that the equal or the dash in either case has to be right at the proper level of indentation, like the first thing.
Okay.
All right, so we have, yeah. So I think our view's all set up. Okay, now
Okay,
we've got to
so we
go
want to be in
do.
the controller.
Yes, yes, and the controller. This is where it gets a little, a little trickier. So right now our controller is pretty simple, right? It's just movies all, and we're going to have to change things so that we, sort or whatever. So the first thing is we set things up with the links, the link to.
So we're passing the data in the params hash, right?
Yeah. No, I guess take a quick look at our index again. Yeah, take just a quick look at our index html.haml. All right. So in the case where they've clicked on the movie title, then the params hash is going to contain the key sort with the information title. Where they click on the release date, it's going to have the key sort and the information release date.
Right.
So we know we need to get the sort key of the params hash and look at it, basically.
Square brackets?
I
don't remember this all of a sudden.
Because it's the way Ruby accesses a hash is just like you access an index in an array.
Okay.
So it's square brackets in the name of the key. Yeah.
Equals for this one?
I think that'll work. I don't know. I did it somewhat differently, but
how did you do it?
Well, it's kind of fancy.
It's kind of fancy.
Well,
I
wrote a
easy way.
I wrote a method in the model class, and I used metaprogramming to like have all the information fall out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So Um, but it's not straightforward. You know what I'm saying? I actually did it this way first, and then I refactored it.
Oh, refactoring. Very nice.
Yeah. So, I found that once I saw what it looked like and the things I didn't like about what it looked like, it was much easier to then concentrate on the things that I wanted to, all that kind of stuff. So, if that makes any sense at all. um,
All right.
So let's see, you've got if equals title. Yeah, you're going to want to do a few things, right? You're going to
Mhm.
want, yeah, sort. Okay. And then
I don't remember the
I think you
syntax
just
for
give that,
sort.
I think you just have to, movie all sort. I think that's just going to be like a parentheses, like an argument. What key do you sort on? I think. I mean,
Um,
there are a few ways of doing this.
so I can just give them the key, and it would be title, like so.
I think so.
That's simple.
Yeah. Actually, this part isn't bad. As long as I can remember it correctly. Let's see. So. Actually, movie all. I think it's order, not sort. I'm looking at this. I'm saying there's something that doesn't strike me as right, and I'm thinking the sequel is order. Yeah, I think it's movie all order, and then you give what the ordering is, like the key of the ordering.
Okay. So that's actually easier than doing the sort, at least as far as the syntax goes.
Yeah.
So can we test that now? Already hit that step.
Yeah. Yeah, just to get that. Yeah, let's see. If that doesn't work, I'll have to look up active record.
I have a bad habit of
and
not
make
saving things, so I'm just gonna
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
save that terminal. All right.
Let's see.
Nope. Sorted it, but it didn't
No,
highlight it.
yeah, it's sorted. Well, of course not. We haven't done that yet.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
the sort
Okay.
works.
Okay. So now what we
Nice.
have to do is apply the highlighting, and we've got it all set up, right? So,
We just have to
if
change that
if we're
variable.
yeah,
Okay. What do we call that variable?
we have an instance variable, and of course the instance variable gets set up in the controller at title and at release date.
All right. So for sorting this one,
Yeah. Right.
at title equals, what was it, highlight?
Yeah.
And then we have to turn off the other one.
No, actually, you don't have to do anything because all of these instance variables exist only for that time that, like the current call.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah.
I did not know that.
And I mean, when
Oh, I
you
guess
want,
I
when you
did
want,
know that, but it didn't click right.
yeah, the thing is, if you want things to persist, you got to put them in the session.
Right, which I knew, but it still didn't click in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
all right.
Exactly. So, yeah, so in this case, yeah, like you're doing with the release date, now just set that up. Watch your date there.
Oop.
Lowercase d. Lowercase, yeah. All right.
It's really just
I'm
highlight.
guessing.
I don't put that in a string.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, probably.
I feel like if it's not a symbol, it's got to be a string, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, let me see. Yes, definitely. It is. Yeah, because it's not. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of highlight as a variable. Of course, it's that title that's the variable. Highlight is that you have an O in front of that.
Yeah, I don't know where that came
Highlight,
from.
yeah, highlight is not the variable. It's the value. So yes, wake up. Time for more coffee. Let's try it. Whoa, look at that. Oh, sweet. Yeah,
Nice.
very nice. All right, so let's go to the next part.
So when we were just talking about those variables not persisting, they don't persist when you follow links, but they do persist when you just refresh the page.
I think now what would be interesting is go to add movie and come back.
Still there?
That was the one that was clicked?
I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try it again.
Yeah.
Click on movie title.
Boop.
Boop. Yeah, add new movie.
Oh, so it just defaults to release date?
Yeah, for some reason. So but don't worry about that. We'll make it work. It's just we don't have to worry about that this first step.
Okay. I just find that
That's
weird.
like step 3. No, that's step 3. Yeah, I'm trying to think of why that would be.
Wonder if I shut it down and bring the server back up. If it, I would think it would be
I
blank.
wouldn't honestly I wouldn't waste time because
All right.
you want the session to determine this.
It does.
Whatever. Wow.
Whatever.
Whatever
We'll figure it out
goofy
later.
stuff it does. Yeah. We'll make it do what we want it to do.
All right.
So-
So back to the instructions.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can push what you have to Heroku, or we can move on. By the way, I have to leave to be somewhere. I have to leave around 2.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to let you know. I mean, hopefully we can finish it by then. So what's the next step? Yeah, I mean, if you want to push it, you can. But if you want to wait, that's fine too, because we see it works live. So, but now we're
Okay.
gonna do the check boxes, right? Yeah, we're gonna filter the list of movies by rating. Thank goodness they give us the code for the little form, the little checkbox form.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just put this into index.
Yeah.
I probably should have paid attention to where.
Oh,
That's gonna go beneath all movies, right?
yeah,
Yes. So right here.
Yeah. right there. All right.
Extra blank lines aren't gonna matter, are they?
No.
Lines 3 and 10. Okay.
No.
All right.
I mean, I think the blank lines are good.
Yeah, they definitely make it more readable.
Yeah, it's not all that readable without it. All right, so we've got the, they gave us the form tag movies path. So in other words, it's going right back to the same page. The method is get do. That's an odd, it just occurred to me how odd that is. Because in most cases, oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, okay. So method is the HTTP method, which is get. If we saw action, it would be the name of the controller method. So, yeah, that's one of the things I noticed, that whenever you see the key method, it's not referring to the method of your controller. It's referring to the HTTP method. Whereas if you see the key action, it means the controller method.
I don't remember exactly what chapter, but the textbook has like a big, huge warning block about exactly that thing. And I read it, and still I'm like trying to figure out
Yeah.
the code.
Yeah. I always do a double take when I see method and get. I'm like, well, there's no method name that in the controller. And then it's like, oh, HTTP method. Well, and I still do it. All right. So I think they say you have to attach an ID to that for the same thing, like for the auto grader. You're important for grading purposes. Your form tag should have the ID ratings form. Can you hold on just 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
No, I think you made it William. Yeah, you did something tricky. Colin will know. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, so let's see. We've got. Did you insert the ID? I didn't know if
I
you did
wasn't
that.
totally sure where it goes.
Okay, so this has to go because you're associating it. Can we look at the instructions again just for a second? I want to. Okay, so your form tag shall have the ID ratings form. And in order to associate it with the form tag, you actually have to have it right in that line. And form tag, it's the same kind of deal that we saw with the link to. You know how it takes the like the path, and it takes different things, and then you can add the ID or something at the end.
So is this the right spot to put it?
I would put it after method get, because movies path and method get go together.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't clear about.
Yeah, and then
But
do
before
a comma. Sorry, yeah, definitely before the do. Yeah. So yeah, just do the ID rocket ratings form. Yeah, ratings form, just like we did with the link to. Only make sure it's in quotes. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to.
Yeah, so the code that they gave us needs the all ratings to be populated.
Yeah.
And it's saying that really should be the job of the model. So I think that's where we need to start, right?
Right.
So that's in app models, movie.rb.
Yes.
This is the right spot, isn't it?
Okay, but I'm thinking, maybe we should look at the controller first, because we might, it might be that we're going to invoke a class method on movie, and some of those are already part of Active Record. So I have to kind of think back and see what we would have to do. Can we just, I forgot to look further on the instructions to see what it is they want us to do. So yeah, we're going to use the above code, and we want the variable all ratings to be a numerable collection of all possible values of a movie rating. Oh, okay. So all ratings. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And that is that's going to be a model method.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I lost my place there. I'm sorry.
I probably was just so movie.rb.
So basically all that we have to do is set up an array that has those values.
Can I still call all ratings?
Well, you're going to well, first of all, is this going to be called on a specific movie, or is it going to be invoked on the movie class itself?
I would think the second one, right? It's just going to be on the class itself.
Right.
Oh, that's a different syntax, isn't it?
Slightly, yes.
Is it
So
movie with a capital?
actually, what you would do instead of, oh, okay, so instead of just define the name of the method, you're going to say define self dot the name of the method. Yeah. Right. So
Then I
define,
can
no,
just
no, but define it. This is a method. You're going to write a method. So before self, you've got to say DEF, right?
oh
DEF.
yeah, oh, that's why you're saying define.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so define
yeah.
self dot all ratings. And then I get
Not,
lost with poetry mode.
yeah, okay,
Not
but
what?
underscore lowercase r. Underscore lowercase r. And we don't have to send it anything. So we're good. Okay, now we
That's what
just
I'm
have to
saying
fill
about
in.
poetry mode. I don't have to have blank
No,
prints
you
here.
don't have to. Exactly. You don't.
Okay.
But you do have to have an end at the end. Like press end. Yeah, you might as well put
All
it
right.
there.
And
And
then
now,
I can just put in the name or the array, right? Because it'll
yeah,
get returned as the last value.
that's right. Now, there's a shortcut that you can use. This'll save you some typing, and this is a really neat trick,
hmm
like to have under your belt. So I think since Ruby 1.8 or something like that, they have this way of defining an array that's all strings, and you put %W. Yeah, you don't need to indent that much. I always indent just 2.
That's my default tab
Oh, okay,
for
because I
Cloud9.
think it. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
I
we
never
changed
changed that
it
either.
too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean you can change it. Okay, so that's %W.
Or something.
Percent.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying.
Right. And then in parentheses, you don't even use the square brackets. You just list the strings with spaces between them and no quotes.
Oh, commas either.
No commas, no quotes, just list the strings. And it's fantastic. I hate all those quotes and commas and all that picky little stuff. So there you have it. You now have an array of those strings. Voila.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like
You might want to put a comment at the end of that so you remember this. You know, that it's the shortcut way to define an array of strings. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Great. All right. So now you've got all ratings defined. And what does it say to do next?
Well, we still need to have all ratings defined in the controller, right? So I don't think we
We're
did
gonna.
that part.
It's not like we're going to define it. We're going to use it, right? In the controller.
Um,
It's
I thought we had to define it so
established.
that it could be accessible in the view
Um.
right here.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is somewhere in the controller we have to invoke it. Oh, okay. So we have. I think I see what you're getting at. So
We
we've
have two
already.
things called all ratings is the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're
And
talking about different ones.
yeah. No. No. Actually, that's why I was getting confused. So we've got a method, a class method called all ratings, right? And we want to set
Right.
up an instance variable called at all ratings.
Right.
Yeah, so now we just have to
That
set
got
it,
confusing.
not define it, but set it. Oh, why did it do?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So just do it at the top, right?
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter where you do it. So add all ratings equals.
Movie dot all
Yeah.
ratings.
Yeah, there you go.
Easy.
So now you set it. Okay, good. Then let's see, what else do you have to do? Yeah, this is a little tricky. What do the instructions say at this point?
I need to just close that. All right, here we go.
Okay, so it expects the variable all ratings, and you've done that. The controller method needs to set up this. You've done that. Since the possible values of movie ratings are really the responsibility of the movie model, it's best by consulting. Yeah, okay, you've done that. And then you also need code that figures out how to figure out which boxes the user checked, and then how to restrict the database query based on that result. So on number 1, it says view the source of the movie listing with the checkbox form, and you'll see that the checkboxes have field names like ratings G, ratings PG, etc. So yeah, if you run this and you look at it, you can see, you know, what this stuff plays out to be. All right, so
Talking about this stuff.
yeah. So we see that we've got a name of ratings G. The ID is ratings G, and the value is 1. Well, that's not the value. That's the value that it will be if you check it, I guess. You didn't check any yet, right?
They are. No, they are not checked.
Okay, let's see what happens when we check a few.
Nothing except it didn't show
Yeah.
up in the
Yeah,
URL.
because our controller really isn't doing anything. I'm trying to think. Can you check it and look at it while it's checked?
Look at the source code again.
Yeah.
I can.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's just which one did you check?
NC-17. Yeah, it's still the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is not gonna help us. I don't see the value that I want to see going forward. So let's look at the. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is the controller. We still have code we actually have to insert into the view to make this workable. But we did see that the name it's expecting is the name ratings and then a key, which is the rating, right? So yeah, checkbox tag ratings, # rating, right?
Oh, what line are you on? 8?
7. Oh, 8. Yeah. So
Okay.
checkbox tag. Now we've got to put a comma after that and start filling in the fields it expects. All right. So a comma. And then we have to put 1 in a string. So it's going to expect that it has that value if it's selected, comma. And then we're going to have to set up something in the controller that looks at the checked boxes, and then based on that makes a collection of check boxes, and passes on the instance variable. So what do you think you should name an instance variable that contains that information?
Wait, you lost me a little bit. What information are we passing here?
Okay, so on the one hand, we have the checkbox that works like a checkbox, so that
Right.
the information is passed in the params hash to the controller. But then the
Right.
controller has to actually do the action of filtering, right?
Right.
And also, you want to have the box like visibly checked when you go back to the page, right?
Right. So you need to keep track of what was checked in
You
the
need to,
controller?
yeah. yeah, you need to keep track of that, but also you need to stuff an instance variable that knows that.
All right. So
Um,
here's sometimes I get
so
confused with the params hash. Like, isn't this information in the params hash?
okay, it's coming to the controller, but then you've got to populate it back to the view. Do you get what I'm saying? See, this is really,
I
I found
do,
this
but
very hard to understand the first time.
okay, good.
All
It's
right?
not just me. It's the params
No.
hash. So does the view not have access to that data in the params hash?
Well, the thing is, the view sets it once, it goes to the controller, and that param hash is then destroyed. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't populate back to the view, is what I'm trying to get at.
That was
Okay?
not what I was.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually write that down because that's
So what populates from the view is the params hash. Right? Anything that the view puts in the params hash is going to be seen by the controller.
so view
Anything that the
populates
controller,
params.
yeah, and the controller populates instance variables that the view can see. So the view can't see
So it's like a
params
loop.
hash. Yeah,
Oh,
it's weird.
this is good. Controller
Yeah,
populates
and this
instance
is
variables. This is
yeah.
I
So
think
this
this is
is
why I wasn't getting it. Like, why doesn't the view see the
sure.
params hash? It's
Yeah,
making the
it doesn't. It's
okay.
making it. It doesn't see it. It
Okay.
makes it. It makes it on that one hit, and then it leaves, and it doesn't. It has no memory of what
It's a
it's
big
set up.
circle. I
It's
see
a
like
big
the flow.
circle.
I see the flow here
Yeah.
now. That's
Right, right. And that's critical to understanding what's going on. Otherwise, I mean, there's so much bouncing back and forth. It can be really hard to understand.
okay. So we have to
And
take
of course, what method the controller goes to is determined by what the view, whether the view says, or all right, go here or go there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like there's a link, and you might go to the index page, you might go to some other page. So that's what's so weird about this. So basically, if we imagine, and we're just going to imagine this for a minute, that we clicked on some checkboxes and the controller already processed them, and is now passing a collection of these checkboxes to the view. What name would you want to give the index or the instance variable? I mean, you can give it whatever name you want, but let's establish one.
Is it multiple instance variables, one's for each box, or is it like a hash that contains everything?
It's going to be a collection of all the ones that were selected. You don't even have to worry so much about what it looks like right now, okay? But all you have to, like for right now, we'll just concentrate on the view, and we just need like something to fill in as a name.
In the view.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just the checked ones, can we just call it checked boxes?
Yeah, okay. I mean, again, you're going to have to type all this every time, so.
Yeah, but it's worth it if I know what it actually means later on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we want to set up here, and let me see if I have this right. So after, all right, so you're saying you want to include these ratings. Okay, so this all ratings each do rating is going to populate each of the little names and boxes for each rating, right? And so we have the name of the rating, like G or PG or blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like from that collection you already created. So it's going to spit out that name, and then it's going to spit out a checkbox, right? And notice it's taking that rating, like G or whatever. And so here we've got the collection ratings and then we're interpolating the name G, PG, or whatever, G, and
Yeah, the
and
pound
that,
curly braces is the string interpolation.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. All right, and then you got the one, which is just saying this is what things get set to when they're selected. But now we have to have the name of the collection that shows which of these keys are selected. And we're not even worried about the value. I mean, the value, if the key is there, it's going to be 1. But what we have to worry about is the name of the key, which is what we're going to collect in the controller. So you said add checkboxes. Yeah.
For me.
Okay. Which makes a lot of sense. Basically, we have to have code here that says, should I check the box or not? This is the part of the checkbox tag parameters that determines whether or not, like the 1 gets set for this. Okay. And so basically what you want to know, since you know checkboxes contains a collection of all these, all right, you want to know, is this particular rating inside this collection of checkboxes? So what is the method you would use?
Is it contains, or is that too easy?
Similar. Well, I
Mhm.
don't know. It might be. I mean, it might be. It's either contains or include.
The
And
question
then,
mark?
yeah, right. And then what's the parameter or the argument? It's the name of the
Um,
rating, right? It would be
right.
the,
So it's just
yeah,
rating again.
that's it. Yeah. And then I think you have to put a comma because I think they said they want an ID for this too. Can we look at the instructions real quick and see what they want this to be? All right. Important. The form submit. Okay, so it should have that. That's another ID we have to put in that, and then we already put in the first ID. Each checkbox, all right, should have an HTML element of ID of blah blah blah, where the interpolated ratings, and so on. So HTML element ID. All right, so we're just going to plug that. It's rocket though, not equals. Yeah, and then we're just going to plug in what they said in quotes.
Yeah, it's the same trick. Oh no, it's not
Yeah,
the same trick. Almost the
it's
same trick.
pretty. It's almost the same. Yeah, it's almost the same. Only they're formulating a string.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that, right?
Right.
All right. So just so I
Okay.
understand this, this first one
Mhm.
is the value that it gets when it's checked.
Yeah, and ironically, we don't really look at it.
Okay.
And this is what determines whether or not right now that box should be pre-selected.
The
All right.
thing
So this
after the one, the
determines.
whole at checked underscore boxes dot include.
Yeah. It's like should we pre-select this box, and then this thing just gives it a CSS ID. And then we have to say submit tag. What was the other ID we have to shove in here?
The form tag needs to have ratings form, and the
Yeah, okay.
submit button. Oh, that's what we're just looking at. Ratings
Yeah,
underscore
ratings
submit.
submit. Okay. So we've got to add that ID to, yeah, the submit tag. On line 9. Yeah. I think, no, I think it said it has to be rating submit.
You are correct.
The form submit has to be rating submit. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right.
And wait, did we do
So,
the first one? The form tag should have
yeah, we did
ID
that
ratings
already.
form. Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
right
did
there.
that. I think our view is all set. I would save it. And now we've got to, tinker with the controller.
We need to actually implement the filtering.
Yeah, yeah. So the view shows it and sets it up and pre-selects the boxes that were checked. Here we actually have to make it happen. Let's see.
So maybe I should. I know you can probably do it all as one line, right?
Uh,
But maybe I'll filter it first and then order it as two different lines just to make it simpler.
that's a good idea. I think you have to do some other things though before you actually are able to do that. Let me think. Because the filter information has to be sent in a particular way to the active record method.
What's the name of the active record method?
I'm trying to remember actually. Hold on. Because I'm thinking it needs to send it maybe an array because it's got multiple things, right? Do that.
Movie.where is what the instructions recommend.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where this is true and this is true, that sort of thing. Yeah, sure. Movie.
How did I get lost? I'm lost.
Okay.
go.
I think we've got to set up a an array of ratings.
An array of ratings.
Well, you know,
Don't we already
the
have an array of
boxes.
ratings?
No. Remember, we're being sent in the params hash. It should tell us which of these. Okay, I remember now. What's the tricky part about this? Okay, if none of the boxes are checked, right? If none of the boxes are checked, and it should have in the instructions here somewhere, we should regard it as all of the boxes checked.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. Otherwise, you're not gonna
Yeah, otherwise there's
do
nothing.
anything.
Right. And if there is at least one box checked, like any other combination, all we want to do is pick up from the params hash which ones are checked. So what we really want to do at this point is see what, you know what, let's do at the beginning of define index, can you do a new line at 13 and do a p params on line 14? I'm sorry, you already did the new line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's like before the function.
No. Yeah, there we go. P params. Yeah, I'd like to run it and see what we get. Oh, also maybe label it so we could see where it begins and where it starts. I should have you do like a P begin string and then a P end string like that.
Do a what?
Okay, syntax error. What is this? We have some kind of little syntax. Oh, this should be a rocket. I think you have a typo in the view.
In the view.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to say what line, does it?
Oh,
there it is.
It's
Line
the
9.
bottom. Yeah, the bottom
Yep,
of that
there it is.
area.
Bam.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, good. Yeah, now go back to the controller. Yeah.
Just break it again.
Don't worry about it. Let's just go back to the controller. And make a new line after 13. And then do P, begin in quotes. BEGIN.
In?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So we can see what's
Right.
going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And where it begins and where it ends, because that's not always clear.
I see. This is old C++ debugging.
Yeah. Yeah. Little instrumentation. Oh, we do still have an error. What the hell?
No
Undefined
method error.
method include? What? Oh,
But it's a nil class. So it's saying at checked
oh,
boxes isn't anything.
oh, because you're not sending anything. Yeah, of course. Duh. Okay. So, I don't know. Put anything in there. Put at check boxes. At checked boxes. I mean, right now we could just literally put anything there. Pretty much.
I leave it empty, or do I actually have to put like?
Yeah, you have to. Well, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe if you just
I mean, if it's empty, it doesn't include anything, right?
right, right. Empty is different than nil. Okay, so yeah, so you have G and PG checked. So they're pre-selected, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? They're pre-selected.
Yeah, hard coded.
And let's see what the params looks like. Begin and end and controller movies action index. Boy, we're not getting anything. Can you go back to the page and check some things? I want to see what it looks like when we check it. So yeah, uncheck the previous stuff and check new stuff.
There it is.
There's what I'm looking for.
G
Okay.
PG-13.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what's going to come across to the controller. So it's a hash with the key ratings, right? And it contains all the stuff. And now basically, if it's an empty hash, we have to make it like a hash of everything. Whereas if it's
But
if it has something in it, then what we send to Active Record isn't going to be G Rocket 1. It's just going to be G. You see what
right.
I'm saying? Like, so we've got to grab the keys from ratings.
The only thing I'm confused about is that you're saying we have to handle the case where it's an empty hash,
Yeah.
but
Does
wasn't
it say that?
what happened?
Does it say that in the instructions, or is that the next step? Maybe I'm jumping the
I
gun.
don't know. I don't know. I just thought that when we didn't have anything checked, we didn't get an empty hash. We just didn't get a hash. Or am I looking at that wrong? Like when this stuff up here
Oh,
before we just didn't
okay.
see the hash, right?
So if ratings is nil, yeah, I think you're right. If ratings is nil, we have to populate all of the ratings.
All right. So I can do like
Yeah.
if params that can I just do all ratings?
I think that is basically the like the way that you would fill it in if there's nothing.
Yeah. Isn't that what we're trying to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that looks good, right?
I think it's more complicated. I'm trying to think, why is it more complicated than that? Maybe I'm wrong. Well, let's, okay, so all ratings is that, and then selected ratings are either going to be equal to, so this would be checked boxes, would either be your params rating. Oh, I know, there's a trick to this. All right, so you can say, this is what, in the back of my mind, I was thinking of something. You know the or equals?
Or equals?
Yeah, the two pipes equals. Instead of a conditional, you could say something like check boxes equals the perms. Check box, yeah, where you have that.
Look at all this.
Yeah, okay. So you could just say check boxes equals or equals. I'm sorry, or equals. And then you have that it's either going to be equal to the params ratings, right? Or
Like that?
uh,
I'm not used to this operator.
yeah, actually, you don't even, I'm sorry, you don't need the or equals. You just need the equals or, yeah, equals or. I'm confusing the two operators. Just, yeah, put the or in between. Or empty hash.
Or empty hash, is that a
Empty
thing?
hash. No, like empty brace, curly braces.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that makes way more sense.
yeah, okay. So your let's so your selected
So this way it's not nil.
Did you call it selected boxes or check boxes? Check
Check
boxes is what you call. Okay, check boxes. Yeah. So it's either equal to the
Params colon rating if it exists. And if it's not, as nil. So the
perhaps
or
the
operator is going to make this.
right.
This is a really
And if-
smart way to make it an empty hash instead of
Right, and
not a
so-
hash.
The hash. So you're going to want to make a hash of all the no, why is that necessary? I'm trying to figure out why that's important. Equals, yeah, okay. So if it's an empty hash, you actually populate the hash. And I mean, and then, yeah, see, it just seems like there's a sort of like making it harder than it is. So now it's a hash, but you only need the keys, right?
Right.
Okay, so actually maybe you want to use a local here. Maybe you want to say just checked equals params rating or empty hash. Oh no, what I'm saying is just where you have this, yeah, just call it, yeah, don't make it an instance variable.
So I could have
And
just deleted that one ampersand, huh?
yeah, and actually even make it like just call it checked.
Okay.
Just call it checked. All right. So now if checked is empty, is that right?
If params is empty, we want to do we want it to be everything, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
On the other
so
side of this,
empty,
or instead of doing it.
So now you know that it's one or the other, and you're not going to blow up with nil. All right. The problem is you want to pick out the keys. You can't pick out the keys if it's nil. All right. So now you can say that if it is empty, it could be set to all ratings, right? Like check boxes, at check boxes would be all ratings. Is that
Okay.
right?
But do we need it to be a hash, or are we just looking for the keys ultimately?
We're looking for the keys ultimately, but the problem is
Can't
to
I
look.
just do, maybe this is,
Okay.
I do that, and then over here, instead of doing an empty hash, just do all ratings?
Oh, yeah. That should work
Like
actually.
save a
That
step?
should. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Mhm. Yeah. That
Oh,
that looks
no,
much.
I don't like that either, because it's going to try to run keys on this.
But
Even if
but it
it's-
won't even exist unless it has something, right? Let's try it. If it doesn't work,
I
if
don't
it
like
blows
that.
up, then we'll know.
think it's going to
Okay.
blow up. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's try it. Why not?
I think
What's
that
the
if that hash
lowest?
is empty, running keys on it is
Oh,
going to
no,
blow
no,
up.
but we have to call it at checked boxes now because we're not doing it in 2 steps, right? At
Right, because
checked
you still
underscore
want.
boxes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see if it works. What's the worst thing that can happen?
We'll get an immediate error message.
Yeah. Well, maybe not immediate, but pretty soon. Undefined method keys for null class. Yeah, that's why we had to do that. Okay. Yeah, I remember trying to get around that. It was such
It
a
seems like it
big
should
pain
work,
in
and
the
then it
ass.
doesn't.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? No, but leave it. Leave it there. Leave it there. Just put on line 20. On line 20, just say what we had before.
Which one that we
Checked.
had before? Checked,
Yeah, the local. Yeah.
checked equals params,
Equals
colon ratings, or if that's empty,
or an empty hash. So now we're actually, we don't have nil anywhere. We're getting rid of the nil. So now we can evaluate checked. So we can, if checked is empty, then we're going to set it to all ratings, and otherwise we're going to just extract the keys,
just
and
get
it
rid of
won't
line
blow up.
21.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can use parts of it, right?
Yeah. All right, but we're going to
Yeah,
do
just move it down. Yeah.
if
Mm-hmm.
but just checked equals this.
Or I'm trying to think. Would it be? Yeah, I'm guessing that there's a method for that. And what the hell is it? Well, let's start with that anyway. Let me see if I can find the method, because I'm pretty sure there is one. Maybe not, but I'll look it up while you're typing. Okay, where's my book? Oh, great. Where did it go? Great. Huh. This is odd. I know I brought it home. All right. I'll just look it up real fast. So if it's empty, then all ratings, then otherwise we're going to say it's the keys. Yeah, I mean, that should do it.
Ugh. Oh, I
No?
missed an end.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep.
That's
That's
sure.
classic Andrew.
Classic me too. What are you kidding me? Classic everybody. That's why I try to make a habit of typing it first,
I'm
because I
getting
know
better at that.
if I don't, I won't type. I won't remember. Not from 1 minute to the next.
All right, so
Yeah.
they're set by default.
Okay, so uncheck all of them. That's the real test, and refresh. Oh, good. Yeah. And now let's see if it does its thing.
Oh, we didn't implement the filter yet, though.
Oh, that's right. We don't have the where statement or whatever. Duh.
Oh yeah, I wrote movies.where and then like wandered off.
Well, I mean, I did the same thing.
I don't need to do this in the if statement though, right? I can just do it up here instead of writing it twice.
Oh yeah.
And we'll
Yeah, sure.
figure that out. And then it doesn't
Right,
want to be
right.
movie.all anymore. It wants to be at movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just got to figure out the filter and
Oh, I think it's empty. I think it's dot empty instead of equals.
up
It's
here.
yeah,
that
it's
empty?
like more Rubyistic or whatever.
Question mark?
Empty. Yeah, yeah. Try it.
It's good to
I
me.
think
It does look more like Ruby.
sometimes I forget these things. I was thinking blank, but that's for strings. Oh shit. Order for nil class. What? Movies.
Maybe I
order.
broke something else. Oh look, yeah, I did it right
Well,
here.
do we have a? Oh, yeah.
Because I broke everything else.
You actually, yeah, you actually do have to have the where. Yeah, I don't even think it's movies all. Well, okay, so you're not doing the filtering yet. Movies, what?
Or was it just movie.all?
Movie.all, yeah, yeah.
All these little things.
All these little things that make us all crazy. Yes, there's a reason why computer scientists are insane.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right. So things are looking better.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Movie.where. Wait, that's what they recommend.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they said. Let me see. Yeah, I think all you have to do is give the key, which is rating. Basically where works on any of the fields of your object. And so you could say where, and then your key is rating. Yeah, and I think it's a weird syntax. I think instead of symbolized rating, it's just rating colon.
Rating colon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then let me think. And then I think you want to say what the collection of ratings is. Like, what do you have there? Add checkboxes or something? Yeah. Yeah. And that should do it.
Hey.
Wow, that's
Hey.
fantastic. Okay, so it looks like the only thing left is the last part. And I have to run because I've got to be
Oh yeah,
somewhere
that's
by
exactly
2:30.
too.
I will be yeah, isn't that amazing? We've done great. Um, I will be back somewhere in the like the 4 to 5 range.
I'll be here around pretty much all day.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
studying,
Well,
so
okay, yeah. Yeah, if you get a chance, look over the next part and then we can finish
but
it.
you don't want me to finish it without you.
Well, you know, you can, if you want to work on it a little bit or try something, and we'll just do a hangout to finish it up. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the help.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you
Yeah.
later.
Talk to you later.
Bye. Don't forget to make it not live.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one out right now.
Yeah, I think maybe you just click on the live button and it goes the other way.